Mike Stacks. So how did you get to know Sid's mom? Did you know Sid? Jerry only. I met him the night he died. It's just a bad memory. I shouldn't have let that shit happen that I saw happen. I tried to keep my peace. You know what I mean? If it's not my business, I stay the fuck out of it. But if you see something you think is bullshit, I guess it's better to speak your opinion so that it doesn't lay heavy on you later. Mike Stacks. Was it the people that he was hanging out with? Jerry only. Yeah, I mean, the guy just gets out of jail. They go hook him up with some dope and shit. I didn't know what the fuck he was doing, and he keeps on passing out and shit. And then he was all right, you know? So we split, and we were saying, you know, what a hairy scene. So we split, and we were saying, you know, what a hairy scene. The next day, I had to drive up to Connecticut to drop off some parts, and I heard it over the news. It said he was dead. I said, son of a bitch. I could have just picked up the phone and called an ambulance. Fuck him. I said, son of a bitch. I could have just picked up the phone and called an ambulance. Fuck him. Rather than become an asshole in my own mind, I became a real asshole by not saying anything. Well, there was a lot of other people there, and he was probably like that many nights, you know, says Mike Stacks. Mike Stacks says, well, there was a lot of other people there, and he was probably like that many other nights, you know. And you know, this is like, here's one of those things that I think is kind of conflated over the years. I mean, Jerry met him the night he died. Like, how well did he really know Sid? You know, I do think that, you know, there, I don't know, I think it was Bobby, you know, there was some sort of talk or speculation or some sort of situation where the Misfits were going to back Sid, or I should say, there was a plan for the Misfits to go and back Sid as his backing band. Sid drops out of the Sex Pistols, implode, right? And then Sid goes back to New York with Nancy, and he's trying to, like, you know, rebrand himself as a singer and a front man. And he's playing with you know, a ton of bands and a ton of people. Pure Hell is opening for him. The Victims are opening for him. The Heartbreakers. He's got guys from the Heartbreakers and the Dolls in his band. He's got Jerry Nolan drumming for him. He's got Arthur Kane playing bass, stuff like that. And you know, just different people on different nights. And you know, probably if he had found the right manager, I would imagine that had he not killed himself with heroin, had Sid found the right, you know, the right manager who could handle him, you know, in a way where he could contain this dude, this wild dude and his wild behavior, that they probably would have repackaged him as a front man, and he probably would have had a modicum of success, whether releasing one album or maybe a string of albums, a couple of albums. But who knows what would have happened. But yeah, I think that somewhere in the Misfits camp, probably, you know, Jerry had his sights on Sid, and, you know, in an effort to, you know, propel their status, you know, maybe seeing everybody else, you know, taking a turn being the backing band for Sid, Jerry thinks, you know, and again, I'm speculating, I don't actually know. Jerry goes, maybe the Misfits could be the backing band for Sid. Maybe we could, you know, have you know, that'll, you know, elevate our brand as a band in the New York scene. And as it turns out, you know, too late, because, you know, Sid overdoses. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, and then over the years, Jerry gets asked about it because Jerry becomes a part of that legend. You know, I mean, that's what's so interesting about some of this stuff, is that, like, you literally have to, and again, there's nothing right about Sid overdosing on heroin. What I'm saying is, I'm saying this in the sense of, if you're there at the right place at the right time, you get photographed, you know, baked in to the legend. And so in that way, Jerry was there the night he died, and therefore is, you know, entangled in the mythology of Sid Vicious. And that's why people interview him about it all the time. You know, he's been interviewed over the years, and then over the years, it becomes like a manicured answer. You know, I think, at least, again, you know, please, Jerry only, tell me to shut the fuck up and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Fine. I always like to do that, because I feel like if I don't, then people will think that I really know what I'm talking about. And I really don't. This is just a fucking nerd talking about nerdy fucking minutia, man. That's all this is. That's all it is. So, Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what that is. But it's interesting to hear him talk about that in 1993. And then as the years have passed, there every once in a while, like some digital Robbie saying Simon Ferocious. He's referring to a story where the Sex Pistols were playing next to were recording the Sex Pistols were recording in the same studio that Queen was recording. Robbie, what was it? Night of the Opera, maybe. And Sid Vicious, because at the time in 1977, the Sex Pistols were the biggest thing. I mean, they've captivated the international media, right? They have everybody's attention. Punk has broke wide open. It's this international phenomenon. And even a band as big as Queen is, knocking on the door, going, hey, what's going on here? And Sid is trying to do this tough guy act, and Sid was not a tough guy at all. He was a teddy bear, and all the accounts that I read, he was just he's a quiet little boy, all of it was an act. And and Freddie Mercury, who's so, it's like not even in his like stratosphere. He's just sort of like it doesn't even like register with him, and he calls him, well, that Simon Ferocious guy, like he doesn't even call him Sid Vicious, Simon Ferocious. I think that's so funny. Sorry, I've been corrected. It was News of the World, West Essex Studios in 1977. That's a great story though. Simon Ferocious. What else? Gordon says, didn't one of the Misfits end up with Sid's swastika shirt? I don't know, but there is that photo of Joey Image wearing the same swastika shirt that we've seen Sid in, which is detestable to me personally. I find it repulsive as a Jew. I find it absolutely repulsive, like disgusting. All that fucking swastika shit. I hate that. I hate it. I just hate it. Even when it has the bar in the middle, I hate it. I'm like, why do you got to wear it? Yeah, no shit, motherfucker. We all hate we're all anti-fascism. You don't have to fucking wear it on your shirt with a bar through it. It's like, I'm against people. It's like, I'm against poverty. You have to like wear an yeah, we know you're against poverty. Like, it's just so stupid. It's just a stupid, like, we get it. You don't have to have it on your shirt. Well, in that case, it's a shock value situation. I wonder if that was I wonder if that was the same shirt, because Jerry did have Sid shoes. He had Sid shoes. He had a bunch of personal effects. I wonder if Joey was given the swastika shirt, because Joey Image did have an affinity for swastikas. And I believe he even had a tattoo of a swastika. And I'm sure Jerry didn't want anything to do with the swastika shirt, because Jerry got a bunch of shit from Sid's mom. And it stayed up in their attic for a very, very long time. I mean, the moment that he died, the moment that Sid Vicious died, everything around him became an artifact of collectability. Even at the Chelsea, he died at the Chelsea Hotel. Harley Flanagan had the key, the hotel key. I mean, like all of a sudden becomes like a priceless artifact. I don't know. How's it going, Fred? Bringing opera to the masses. Yeah. All right, let's move on with this. So